Welcome to Ask Dr. Louise. Keep following up. Are you navigating the dilemmas that addiction, aging, and mental health issues present? Ask Dr. Louise is the place to start. Life is often a series of hiccups, and while you might get knocked down, you always have the opportunity to fall up. Addictions and mental health issues are not a life sentence. There's always hope and strategic solutions for helping you become a better version of yourself, while impacting your loved ones with grace, compassion, and integrity. Join us as we navigate how to have those uncomfortable yet necessary conversations with yourself and your loved ones to take the actions needed to help you rise to be your best possible selves. Get ready to walk away with doable solutions. Ask Dr. Louise starts now.
Good day, everybody. I cannot tell you how absolutely positively excited, and my heart is so full because today you get the best secret and the best person in the world to talk to. John Assaraf is my guest today, and you may have known him from The Secret, but more importantly, you might have known him because of Inner Size and the Neuro Gym. John, welcome to Ask Dr. Louise.
Thank you, Dr. Louise. It's great to be with you.
So just let the audience know about you, know about your passions, and know what you're doing in the world. And I'm going to be quiet because I love learning from you.
Well, listen, I'm like everybody else. I wanna have a healthy, fun life with purpose and meaning. And I want to overcome, all of the mental, the emotional, the addictions, that I think many of us are or have been plagued with. And I'm just a student who loves to learn. Then I love to teach and share what I've discovered, the good, the bad, the ugly, with others. I've written a few New York Times best-selling books. I've been in, I think, 14 or 15 movies, sharing some of what I've learned. And I'm just an all-around happy husband, father, friend, and human being that wants to share his life and experiences with others so that I can maybe shine a little bit of light on their path.
Well, I love the fact you actually have personally shined a light on my path.
Thank you.
I have to tell you that, I wanted to write a book. And thanks to you, that book is maybe going to be out by December.
Yes.
And that was thanks to you. But tell the people, what is your biggest project right now? Maybe you could talk about NeuroGym or Inner Size and how they can actually access those and what they do.
Sure. Well, if I can just step back for a moment and what I've discovered in the last, 42 years of being on a personal development and growth journey of my own is we all have this powerful human brain that I think is worth like $100 billion, but none of us were given the user's manual for it. Our parents and grandparents weren't given the user's manual for it. And many of us have developed, whether it's beliefs that are limiting us, maybe a self-image or self-worth that's lower than we would like it to be, where we feel like we're not good enough or smart enough. When I was in high school, I failed English, I failed math, I left high school in grade 11 because I fell so far behind the other kids because my parents moved from Israel, where I was born, to Montreal, where they spoke French and English. And so I thought I was dumb. I thought I wasn't supposed to achieve success. So I was very mischievous and got into trouble with the law, with doing drugs, selling drugs, breaking and entering into people's businesses and stealing stuff. And I did that because I thought that's what I needed to do in order to have a little bit of money in my pocket and to feel like I belonged. I ended up, being an alcoholic, which I then learned how to overcome. I was a sugar addict, which I learned how to overcome, all because I got fascinated when somebody told me that I have this powerful brain, but I just wasn't using it well. So that's kind of like the backstory. And then I've gone on, I've built, a few companies, I've written books, I've been in movies, I've achieved some successes, I've had massive failures. But all of that to say that we become conditioned to believe certain things. We become conditioned to some of these disempowering emotions like, fear of failing or fear of being disappointed or judged or rejected or abandoned or unloved or unwanted. And these are all mental and emotional constructs that have been conditioned or programmed into us from the time we were born till, 10, 11, 12 years old, as you know. So I've been studying for 43 years now. My brain, my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs, what are they? Where are they? Can I change them? Can I become a better version of myself? Can I break free from the habits that in some cases in my life were very destructive? And can I create new empowering habits that'll help my life become the masterpiece that I've always wished and hoped and dreamed that it could be? And the answer was yes. And then I learned the tools, which leads me to what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I've been teaching people how to inner size, right? Exercise to strengthen your body and muscles, inner size to strengthen your self-image, your beliefs, your habits. And I've looked at and researched what are the best ways to train your brain, to let go of what isn't serving you and create and reinforce new patterns that do serve you. So my company is called NeuroGym at myneurogym.com. I have an app called Inner Size with over 525 different brain training inner sizes to reinforce empowering, constructive, powerful beliefs, habits, perspectives, and self-image. And then I have had experts like you, that let me teach my students from around the world everything from removing stress to addiction to overwhelm to being a better salesperson, husband, wife, to lose weight and keep it off, all by inner sizing on a specific pattern using specific techniques and tools. And we've had over 100,000 success stories just in the last number of years with people who are achieving the goals that they have for their lives.
That is so magnificent. And I can't think of anybody who's not listening to us that won't be there to try it. Along the way, because you overcame a lot, did you have any mentors? I remember the very famous African-American Andrew Billingsley he was when I was young, really influenced, and he talked about screens of opportunity. So as you went along the way, obviously bright, intelligent, were there people along the way that you met that allowed you to really develop your NeuroGym, or were there mentors?
Sure. So if I go back 44 years, right? I'm 63 now. So 44 years. At 19, my life was heading either to jail or the morgue. That's the path I was on. I was involved in a small little group street gang that did a lot of illicit, illegal things. And my brother, who was one of my best friends, said, Johnny, you're going to die. You're going to go to jail if you keep on this track. And my brother was a tennis pro. He played the pro circuit when he was in his teens. And when he came back from Europe and playing the circuit, he was teaching this one guy tennis. And this guy was a very successful entrepreneur, real estate mogul, developing real estate projects, like 50, 100 homes at a time. And he asked this guy if he would at least talk to me, maybe to help knock some sense into me. And so the guy said, of course I would. So I took the train from Montreal to Toronto, and my brother picked me up at the train station. We went to meet this man. His name was Alan Brown for lunch. And he asked me, what are some of your goals? And I said, well, I'd like to get a better job. At the time, I was making $1.65 an hour working in a shipping department. I was living at my mom and dad's house, and I didn't have a car. So I said, I'd like to buy a car, move out of my parents' house. I'd like to get a better job to make more money. He says, that's great. Are there any other goals that you have? And I said, no, that would be just perfect. He says, well, would you mind doing me a favor? He said, would you mind answering some questions on this document that I have? And then let's talk about it. And so I said, yeah, sure. So I get this document, and it asked me, what kind of life I want to live, where do I want to live? What kind of car do I want? What kind of home do I want? What kind of career or business do I want? How much money do I want to make? Who do I want to help? Where do I want to travel? He asked me all these questions. I took about 15 minutes. I just wrote out a bunch of answers and I gave him back the document. And he looked at it and he says, listen, if you could achieve this lifestyle for yourself, would that make you proud and happy? I said, oh my God, if I could achieve that, yeah. And he says, I'm going to ask you one question, and the answer to this question will determine whether you achieve all of these things. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, really? One question is going to determine whether I achieve all of these things? And so he leans in and he says to me, he says, are you interested in achieving and doing all of these things and helping your parents retire, which is one of the things I wrote down? He says, or are you committed to achieving and having these things? And I was thinking, I was like, interested or committed? I asked him, I said, excuse me, what's the difference? And he leans in again, and this was the magical moment. He says, people who are interested do what's easy and convenient. They allow their present circumstances, their past failures or successes to control their thinking and their behaviors. But people who are committed, and here it was, upgrade their identity, their knowledge, skills, and beliefs to match the vision and goals they want to achieve. And they settle for nothing other than achieving the goals. And they get rid of their stories, their reasons, their excuses, their traumas, their failures. They get rid of all of that, and they become the person capable of achieving those goals. So he leans in, he goes, so now that you know the difference, are you interested or are you committed? And I don't know what it was, but the hair went up on my arms and on the back of my neck that moment. And I said, well, in that case, I'm committed. And he looks at me, he smiles, he reaches out his hand, puts my hand in his, because I reached my hand, and I says, in that case, I will be your mentor. And I said, wow, thank you. What's a mentor?
I love that.
He explains to me what a mentor was. And then he asked me to move from Montreal to Toronto. I didn't have a job. He said, go back. I want you to go to real estate school, 5 weeks, pass the test. I'll give you a job. So I went to real estate school. He helped me pass the test because I didn't think I was smart enough. So he helped train me. Then he said, great, I'm going to give you a job. You're on commission only. I go, commission? I was making $1.65. I get zero now. He says, I'll teach you how to make more than enough money. And over the next 6 months, he upgraded my self-image with affirmations and visualization and mindfulness and mental contrast, a variety of different techniques. And he helped upgrade my skills of what I needed to do every day. And so he helped create a schedule for me of high performance. And the first month was a bust because I was learning. Second month was a little bit better. But month 3, 4, 5, and 6, I made $30,000. 44 years ago. He says, great, you're doing awesome. He kept upgrading my self-image, my beliefs in myself, and my skills. And over the next 12 months, I made $151,000. I bought my Cadillac Sedan DeVille. I looked like I was driving my dad's car at 20 years old. I bought my first home. Back then, you could buy a home for $100,000 where I lived. And I had a down payment. I bought my first home, and he kept upgrading my knowledge and skills. And he helped me do the equivalent of what I teach today with a lot more advanced techniques called inner size. But he helped me understand that the inner game controls the outer game. And that was the beginning of me getting fascinated with achieving the results I wanted. But then I've been studying what exactly happened to me. And I started teaching it. I built a 1,200 person real estate company later on from the age of 26 to 36. At our peak, we were doing $4.5 billion a year in sales. And I was teaching my agents the inner game stuff. And then I went on and built another company, another one. And we worked on the inside part of success. And then I wrote books about it and studied and have spoken all over the world, teaching people that you have so much more power than you can ever imagine. Let's just show you how to use it. Not talk to you about it, but let's show you how to use it. And I've got, 80-year-olds making millions of dollars, 20-year-olds making millions of dollars, healthy, happy, in great relationships, breaking free of limitations and obstacles, all because they want to learn how to use what is already theirs a little bit better.
That is beautiful. Along the way, did you ever fall down or did you always fall up? That's the name of one of my books.
I've always, I've learned to fall forward.
Fall forward. Okay.
Right. So I've had more failures than most people will even try to achieve success. Now, the key with failing is your understanding of what failure is. It's understanding, how to frame it, how to give it a meaning that actually empowers you versus disempowers you. A lot of people learned that when they fail, they've learned to associate them failing with they are a failure versus what they did fail. Now, listen, it doesn't matter if you are, sending a rocket with humans in it to the moon. Sometimes it explodes. And you've got the best people in the world who put that together. But then you learn from it and you do it better the next time. If you're an athlete, if you play baseball, which I don't, you fail 7 out of 10 times if you're the best in the world.
That's so true.
Right?
Well,
So
you also have to get back up and keep going, which is really the key to success, because it's not everything is a home run, as you suggest.
No, not everything's a home run or a base hit. So you strike out or pop out or whatever 7 out of 10 times. Does that mean you're a failure? Or you do it 3 times beautifully means you're a mega success. And the difference between somebody who makes, for example, in baseball, between $5 million and $25 million in a year is 1 extra hit every 10 hits. That's a difference of 5 times more income. 1 hit out of 10 extra. So first and foremost, you have to learn how to give things meanings that will empower you versus disempower you. You have to develop the beliefs that are nothing more than reinforced neural patterns in the brain that you weren't born with. If you think about this, was any human ever, there's 108 billion humans that have walked on planet Earth since the beginning of time. Has anyone ever been born with a belief about anything?
No, we're a blank slate.
Clean slate, no beliefs, no habits, no self-confidence, no fears, no certainty, no nothing. But through, our imprinting years, our modeling years, our experiential years, with our parents teaching us, telling us things that they believed, or our teachers or school or comic books or television or radio, creating this map of what we believe is reality, we became conditioned. And then our conditioning drives what we see, what we expect, but it also drives what we do. And so the question is, well, can I change my programming or conditioning? Well, think about it this way. Don't you upgrade your cell phone every month or two? Don't you upgrade your computer software? Doesn't your car, if it's one of the newer cars, upgrade its software when you go to the dealer? Of course. Well, what if you just think about your brain as having software? And some software is really powerful and builds you up and empowers you. And some software just was bad programming, or negative programming or disempowering programming, but you can change it. And that's the science of neuroplasticity. And that's just the brain's ability to create and reinforce new patterns. And what we're learning more than at any time in our history of humanity is that we can deliberately do it on our own. And now, with my app, Inner Size, we can actually accelerate it with the right patterns because science has shown us how to do it.
And I love the app because I am a user of the app. And
Well,
what
you.
I love is about is the neuroplasticity of the brain, because if we really stopped and think, you would be spitting on a spin, and you would have never gotten past sort of the gang life of the 19-year-old.
Right.
But to be able to reinvent yourself, and I guess, I'm also in the business of reinvention,
Right.
of helping people become the person that they're meant to be, or they want to be, or should they be. And to me, what you've done is just so incredibly exciting, because it's not only is it for just the very wealthy, because
No.
your apps are for everyone. There is no one that cannot access it as long as they have the phone or everything.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's the app is not for, like, it has nothing to do with actually wealthy or not wealthy,
No.
money or not. It's for people who want to be healthier mentally, spiritually, emotionally. People want to get in better shape. People want to get better at sales. People want to lead themselves better. People who want to develop more empowering relationships. People who want to upgrade their business or level up their career and move up the ladder on their career. We have exercises for health, wealth, relationships, career, business, sales, in every area. That's why there's over 500 of them. But the key is that we can do this deliberately now, using the best that science can give us with the best techniques that anybody can do, and it's fun, and it makes you feel good, and you
it does.
feel empowered. I think 98% of people that are using the app within 1 week tell us that they feel more self-confident. I think 93% said they're reducing their limiting beliefs about themselves. 97% was they have more self-confidence. 73% told us that they feel unstoppable.
But what I also love about it is not that you only feel unstoppable, but you're also, you said a word earlier, which I really loved, and that is when your mentor said to you, are you interested or are you committed? So with commitment means you're willing to do the footwork.
That's right.
Because you're willing to do the work, you're willing to put the time in so that you can be whomever you want to be, or you can risk doing whatever you think you need to be, and that the sky with a little push from inner size is unlimited.
That's right.
And that's I think the gift.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is I think almost every human, not everybody, feels something inside of them that like I should be further ahead, or I can be healthier, I can have more of the good life. But then we have some things that hold us back, almost like an invisible power that keeps us stuck. And that invisible power is actually the habits that we've gotten accustomed to reinforcing. And 95% of our actions are based in our habitual patterns of how we do them every single day. So part of what we have to understand is, in addition to having this feeling and this imagination that my life can be better, I can achieve more, have more, feel more, and be more, we have to back that up with creating and reinforcing some new patterns. And if we know how to do it, it becomes easier. And then if we know how to be bigger than the fear that may be holding us back, if we know how to overcome a belief that's limiting us, or feeling that I'm not good enough or I'm inadequate, if we know how to do it and we're guided, step by step, make it easy, then it's kind of like, oh, wow, I can do this. And when we feel like I can do this, not he or she or them, but I can do this, then we start to say, well, what else can I do? What else can I achieve? What else can, I expect? And everybody, I believe, wants to be the best version of themselves. Who's interested in a better life, right? And wants to feel like their life has purpose and meaning. And this is the path to it.
So we only have about 5 minutes left,
Okay.
and I want to know, what's next for John Assaraf? Where are you off to? What is your vision? And I also want to make sure that our listeners just know how to get a hold of you, know how to get all your books and everything, and just be as excited and exuberant as I am with all that you've done, not just for yourself, but helping people like me, helping the world.
Thank you. Listen, what's up for me is I want to make inner size as known as exercise. And we're so used to, exercising our body, knowing what that is, but we really haven't paid attention to the most powerful part of us, and that's our brain. So I want to help people with thousands and thousands of different inner sizes to strengthen different parts of their brain for different parts of their life, and to level up their knowledge and skills through our faculty, which thank you for agreeing to being on our faculty.
Honored.
So I want to bring world-renowned experts who care about people, who know how to teach, who are willing to give of themselves like I am to helping people, like my coaches and mentors have given to me. And I want to just help people love their life, so they can, go to Amazon.com and look at my book, Inner Size, or look at my book, Having It All, or look at my book, The Answer for Business Owners. Or follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram every day and Facebook every day. And pay attention. We do a lot of free events. We have many programs that people, invest in, coaching programs if it's right for them. But get into my orbit and let me serve you, and you'll find out more about what I do and how I might be able to help you.
Oh, I think everybody must do it. I know, for one, it's not just that I got to be interviewed and give a little bit of my knowledge, but it was your inspiration. And I really want to publicly say that. And also some of the neuroplastic tools that I could use that allowed me to just really go faster. And
easier and faster.
Easier, faster, quicker, and just as good. And that to me is the gift. And so for all of you, I just really want you to be able to really meet John, get to know him through Inner Size, get him to know through the app, because this is a gentleman that one would want to be their mentor. One would want to have that encouragement. And I know, having grown up on a fault line of trauma, which I think is the most overused, unproductive word in the country, and having done a lot of work to change my brain, to change the topic sensitivity, meeting you was like light speed. And if that's what Inner Size can do to everybody, then I want everybody to have that opportunity, whether you are 16, whether you're 19, whether you're, 30, 35, or about to turn 78. There is something in our brain which is just so magnificent. And we are so magnificent that we deserve you. And I just want to thank you so much for being you.
Thank you. And people can go to innersize.com to take a look at information on the app, or go to the app stores.
Okay, beautiful. Well, listeners, if you haven't not whet your appetite and you haven't already gone to the app store, I know that you will, because this is a way with the NeuroGym to begin to change your life, to become that person that you know you are and that you're committed to be. So thanks so much, John.
Thank you, Dr. Louise.
You have been listening to Ask Dr. Louise. Keep falling up. Tune in every fourth Wednesday at 12:30 Pacific Time on Transformation Network for more fresh takes on addiction and mental health that help you and your loved ones to keep falling up. We navigate how to ask yourself tough questions and how to have those uncomfortable yet necessary conversations with your loved ones. Ask Dr. Louise helps you gain resources to take doable actions. For more on the most advanced health and wellness solutions, visit allaboutinterventions.com.